The scientific method applies to shooting incidents by identifying the problem, making any observations as to bullet casings, wounds, ricochet patterns, glass ricochet, anything that involves the shooting. They also develop a hypothesis on what happened and who the suspect may be. Then they will carry out testing to determine bullet entries, bullet exit wounds, velocity, the angle of impact, ricochet patterns. And then there's the refining of the hypothesis if things aren't matching up like they are supposed to, and or if the initial hypothesis was correct. And then there's the development of a theory of what happened, how it was done, and who did the shooting. The angle of impact can be measured by using the dimensions of the bullet or pellet hole. The shape of the hole itself provides the information about the general impact angle. If it is at a 90-degree angle, the bullet would produce a round hole. If the hole is smaller than 9 degrees, it would be an oval or oblong shaped. One would calculate and measure the hole by width and length. Once the width and length are figured out, the investigator would take the sine of the angle of impact. The sine of the angle of impact equals the bullet hole width divided by the bullet hole length. A revolver would have a deposition of soot on the cylinder face around the chamber involved once it had been fired. The cylinder of the revolver can rotate either clockwise or counterclockwise. Counterclockwise would be when you're facing the target and the gun is facing the target. The rotation direction can be determined by noting the shapes of the notches in the sides of the cylinder. The cartridge case contains the priming mixture that consists of shock-sensitive explosives that can ignite the powder charge following the impact by the firing pin or striker. To determine if shell casings or bullets came from a specific weapon, an investigator would have to test fire and examine the weapon and ammunition components. The function testing is part of the protocol in any firearm-related incident. This includes establishing the weapon will fire as designed, and also involves establishing trigger pull, checking for modifications, and broken and or missing parts. One would also look at the bullet hole and wound characteristics to help determine what shell casing or bullet came from a particular weapon. Internal ballistics concerns the bullet behaviors and any related aspects prior to the exit of the bullet from the muzzle. External ballistics, however, helps with bullet behaviors upon exiting the muzzle, but before hitting the final target impact. Terminal ballistics deals with all the bullet behaviors once it hits the target.